Hey everyone, welcome back to Locoskates. We're here in the shop today, and it's quite an exciting day because we've got a new skate out, which is the FR Neo skate. And I'm going to talk about the FR Neo skate. There's 3 different models that are coming out. They're not all out yet, actually. There's 2 models that are out right now, and there's a 3rd one coming in a couple of months' time. But we're going to talk about each of them. We're going to talk about price, spec, going to talk about my opinions on them, who they're for, all that sort of stuff, early information here. They've only just come in. So this is the cheapest version. This is the FR Neo 2, it's called. And it's £225. And it's a whole new mold from FR. So as you can see, this boot doesn't look like the classic flagship FR skate you're used to seeing, like the FR1, FR2, FRX, stuff like that. We're going to compare these skates in a minute, so I'll keep them around. But maybe it looks a bit cleaner. I like the design. I like that it's kind of got this more coverage at the top of the foot here for support. And yeah, I just think it looks good. So this FR Neo 2, and spec is like so. It's got 80mm wheels. The wheels look the same as the Street Kings wheels, which come on the cheap FRX skates and the FR3 skates. It's also got its cast aluminium frame. It's got rocker washers, so you can turn the bolts around upside down and rocker the outside wheels up. You don't have to do that, but you can do that if you want a little bit better turning. And then it's got this single density shell, and I say that because the other ones in the range have got a dual density shell, which we'll talk about in a minute. Ratchet buckle, cuff bolt, which you can turn around upside down to change the position of your cuff. If you saw my last video, which I'll link somewhere in the description, I do talk a little bit about that cuff button and how not many people really do actually use it. So nice little feature to have, but not essential. And then looks like a metal buckle, but it's a plastic buckle, really nice quality plastic buckle actually there. And then I suppose the most exciting thing about the new Neo skates is the new liner. So this is the thing that's going to make most of the difference to your skating. The liner looks cool. It's thick in true FR skate style, thick tongue, thick back of the liner here. You've got this really nice neoprene material to slide your foot into the boot with, and then as you get further in, it's a softer kind of cotton felt-like material. Insole, I mean, it's basic, but it's got these supported sides on it, which actually the lower end original FRX, FR3 models don't have. Nice to have a little bit of that arch support in there. And yeah, if you compare it to, again, an FR, I've chosen an FR2 liner, but FRX, FR2, FR3, FR1, they've all got pretty much the same liner in them. You can see the old liner is more kind of puffy. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. Not a very good light here, but it's puffy and it's really luxurious and really comfortable, the old one. I really like that liner for its softness, but they have kind of made this new liner a bit more precise. It feels a little bit more like, I suppose, is it more supportive? Yeah, it's got a little bit more support in it. And even though it is quite thick, it feels denser and it is slightly thinner than the old liner. So I think that could be good. We'll try them on in a minute and I'll tell you what I think side by side. So that's the FR Neo 2, cheap one. And then the next one up in price in the range looks like this. This is the Neo2 Dual, D-U-A-L. And it's called the Dual because this blue bit is softer material. It's a dual density shell, so this blue bit's softer and the black bit's kind of a harder material plastic. Same for the cuff. The cuff has got a softer material on the blue bit, harder bit on the black bit. And the concept here is, I think, for comfort. I'm still trying to figure this one out. I did email FR yesterday. I haven't had a reply yet. But I mean, one can assume that that softer plastic around the foot is so the skate just flexes a bit more with your foot, like freedom of movement, I suppose. I think what a lot of people might be asking in the comments is, well, if this is the lower end model, we're going to come to this in a minute, there's a third higher end model, which is a dual shell. But if the low end model doesn't have a dual shell, it just has a single density shell, and the higher end one has a dual density shell, seems almost the wrong way around, because previous to now, higher end skates have been stiffer. So they more performance skates, like a performance car, I suppose, stiffer, holds your foot better, better energy transfer. But I think what FR are doing here is they're just kind of leaning into the fact that this is a free ride skate. So it's not a slalom skate, it's not a wizard skate, it's not trying to be anything other than free ride. And when FR say free ride, they mean, you know, skate from A to B, do what you like in it. It's not for anything in particular, not for tricks or anything. They just want you to skate in the skate from A to B. And I suppose you don't need super mega support for that sort of skating. And it would make sense to have a kind of freer moving shell for comfort in that situation. Maybe this is FR's answer to a soft boot. Now that soft boots aren't as popular anymore, got a few here on the wall still. I mean, there's still a place for soft boots if you want something light and want something breathable, but soft boots are much less popular at the moment. Hard boots are definitely like a trend at the moment because they offer more support. So this is a kind of good like halfway house between a soft boot and a hard boot. You still got a hard boot, still got support, but there's still some freedom of movement when you flex the skate. Anyway, this one is the 110mm version, 3x110. This will be the least popular one, just because, well, A, it's blue, and B, it's 3x110mm wheels. I think we're seeing a little bit less popularity for a bigger wheel skate, just for free ride skaters at the moment. A lot of people seem to be defaulting back to 4x80 or 4x90. Again, still a place for that if you want to go really long distances in a straight line. And I still really love three-wheel skates for what they are. But yeah, that one is going to be the least popular in the range. Anyway, that's also got a cast frame. It's got these FR, what wheels are they? They're just FR stock wheels. MW7 bearings, which is just an AVEX 7 bearing by any other name. Same for the Neo2 black ones as well. They've got the MW7 bearings in them as well. And then liner, same again, as we just saw in the previous skate. So next one up in the range, and we don't have it yet because it's not out yet. I think it got delayed at the factory. So they will be out in a couple of months, but they are similar, very similar looking to this one here, the lowest one in the range. I'll stick a photo of it up here just while I'm talking about it. And as you can see, it does look a bit more premium than that one. It's got a really nice extruded aluminium frame on it, and you can see like the bits where they've kind of laser cut away and to reveal the metal underneath. I think it's a really cool look. They've got Street Invader wheels, MW9 bearings, and the main big difference with that one is it's got an Intuition liner in it. And if you don't know already, the Intuition liner makes loads of difference because it's really dense, it's thin, it's precise. Everyone loves an Intuition liner. So we look forward to receiving those. Oh yeah, the other thing about those is they've got the dual density shell as well. So interesting. I'm interested to skate them. We'll do a full review on those higher end ones later on, but I'm interested to see how the dual density shell works in practice for comfort and freedom of movement, or whether it ends up being something that just feels less supportive. So really interested to try that out. Interested to hear in the comments what you guys think as well. Is that counterintuitive to put a softer material on a skate like that, or are you looking forward to having kind of, you know, less rigidity, I suppose? We should talk about shell sizing on these. The shell sizing is slightly different from what you're used to in the FR1, FR2, FRX skates. So what we've got in these is the 37 to 38 is one shell size. 39 to 40 is one shell size, which is different to the original FR freeride skates. The original ones had a single shell size at size 40. So they had a 38 to 39 and then a single size 40 and then a 41, 42, which is a bit of a strange way of doing it. These ones, 37 to 38 shell, 39 to 40 shell, 41 to 42 shell, and then 43 to 44 shell, and then 45 to 46 shell, and that only goes up to 46. There's no size 47 at the moment on these. So yeah, UK 11, EU 46 is the highest they go in size. Let's just try them on and see how they fit. I am usually a UK kind of 7-ish. I've got a UK 7 here in the Neos. I'm going to put it on, tell you what I think. And I'm going to compare it to the old FR2s as well. The reason I've used an FR2 to compare this to is because they're about the same price. This is £225, the Neo in this spec, and the FR2 is somewhere around there. It might be 230. Okay, so it feels, I mean, I probably would take this size. My toe is hitting the end, but I do like a tight skate. Does feel nice and compact. Feels very solid. That's another thing that maybe these differ from the original FRs. It feels like maybe the plastic around the heel and here is, and across the bottom of the boot might be a bit thicker, like almost like a rollerblade twister or something like that. So it feels super solid. I'm going to put on an FR2 next to it. Now FR2s, what we usually say on our website is that they fit a little bit small. And they do, that is right. You're probably best buying a size up in most cases with those. Just because that liner is so puffy, I can feel just putting my foot in that how much more puffy the liner is on the FR2. Oh, okay. Do you know what? Yeah, the length is similar actually. But the problem with these old FR skates is I think because of that puffy liner, they're just crushing your foot in sideways. And a lot of people find, especially just regular people coming in off the street wanting to try skates who aren't used to the way a skate feels, for them it's too much. It feels really tight. So that's why a lot of people size up. Yeah, length of that, same length, no issue there. I would take the 7. I'd say they fit true to size actually, the Neos. It's difficult with the FR2s because I'd also kind of say they're true to size, but it's just that crushing sideways feeling that you get. So it's really up to the individual to decide on that. Yeah, that feels good. Stomp test. Ready? Any difference? What do you think? Same. Okay. Cool. And do you know what else I'm going to do just while you're here? I'm going to put on the size 8 in the Neo. I'm going to put one size up, but it is the same shell size because I'm just interested to know what the difference is between the 8 and the 7. New liner does feel good actually. I can see the appeal of that, and I can see why you might want it a little bit less puffy inside. What's this? Is this the 8? Yeah, I mean, these shell sizing, this is why so many companies these days just say 7 to 8 or 5 to 6, because to me that 8 feels exactly the same as a 7. It's the same shell size anyway. We all know that it's the same shell size. The liner, it's brand new. Feels just the same. Really, honestly, I could buy a UK 7 or UK 8 in that, and it'd feel identical. So maybe keep that information in mind, depending on what size you are versus how the shell sizing works, to try and figure out your correct size. So while I said a 7 in the Neo was true to size, the 8, because it feels the same as the 7, I would say feels small for an 8. So it's half a size or a size, I'd say a full size small probably. Interesting. Maybe that'll help a few people. What else can we talk about? The weight of the skates. Let's measure a size. What's this? Let's measure a Neo in a size 8 versus a FR2. Okay. That's the Neo. It's 1,822 grams. You can remember that. $1,638. It's almost 200 grams difference, so lighter on the original flagship FR2 is lighter than the Neo skate. Doesn't surprise me actually. Like I say, the shell at the back of the Neo and across the bottom just felt thicker. So that extra weight on the Neo could be the difference between some vibration, could be shock absorbing. So I wouldn't immediately take from that, oh no, the Neo is heavier than the original FR skate. That's a bad thing, because it clearly means there's more material in there somewhere, which probably will help for some solidity and some shock absorption. Or you might not notice at all because it's 200 grams and that's not that much when it comes down to it. That's it. That's all I've got written down. Ask me any questions in the comments. This is a really early look, so if there's anything I've missed out that you want to know about, then yeah, hit up the comments section. I think in conclusion, this is the Neo's a freeride skate. It's not a slalom skate. It's not for tricks, and that's why we're seeing this dual density shell that on higher end versions, at least on the 110 version and the Neo 1, which is yet to come out. But then this is a great competitor, not a competitor to the FR2, but it sits alongside the FR2 nicely at a similar price range. I don't think this is here to replace the FR2. I think they are two slightly different things. In fact, the FR2 has a better spec for the money, for sure. So there's a pretty good argument to buy the FR2. It's got an extruded aluminium frame. So that's, it's got better wheels as well. So you might like the FR2 better, but if you like the cleanliness of the look of the Neo and you want to have something new for 2024, that's a really decent option. And I suppose the other one as well is just how they feel for the individual, because they're two different shells, and what each person to the next might find that Neo fits their foot better or something like that. I will say, since I've got them both on, the sizing feels similar. It doesn't feel like one's like massively wider or higher or anything like that. But the Neo does have the extra shell over the top of the foot, so a little bit more support there over the top of the foot. Have a look at my other video that I just put up, which is all the differences between the FR original flagship models. So FR1, FR2, FR3, FRX. I'll link that over in the description. See you in the next video. Bye.